stop whatever you're doing right now, because the change jingling in your pocket could be hiding a life-changing treasure. Yes, I mean it. Hidden inside the ordinary, everyday state quarters that we've all seen 1,000 times before, there are secret versions worth a fortune. And I'm not talking a couple $100. I'm talking about coins that can instantly turn into six-figure jackpots. These aren't myths. These are real ultra-rare state quarters that today's collectors are fighting over at auctions across the United States. Some of them are quietly climbing higher in value every single day, while millions of people have no idea what's slipping through their fingers. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the top 10 most valuable and ultra-rare state quarters that could be hiding in your pocket right now. Each one of these coins has a jaw-dropping history, shocking rarity, and an auction price tag that will absolutely blow your mind. So buckle up, because once you hear about these treasures, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Let's start this incredible countdown with one of the most fascinating quarters ever struck in the modern era, the 1999 Georgia State Quarter, carrying the proud 1788 Georgia founding date on its reverse and minted in Philadelphia with the subtle yet powerful P mint mark. Now, this coin wasn't just another piece of pocket change. It came out during the very first year of the legendary U.S. State Quarters program, a program that transformed everyday coins into works of art, each celebrating America's unique states and their identities. The Georgia Quarter, with its bold peach design, Georgia's state symbol, wrapped in branches of live oak, stands as a proud reminder of Southern heritage, strength, and resilience. For millions of Americans, it was just a collectible novelty at the time. But little did they know, hidden among the billions struck, a tiny handful would become legendary rarities. What makes this specific Georgia Quarter so electrifying? It all comes down to condition, minting quality, and the brutal test of time. Most 1999 quarters circulated heavily. They rattled around in pockets, clinked inside piggy banks, and paid for coffee or snacks. Almost all of them are now scratched, dented, or worn smooth. But the one we're talking about today, struck in Philadelphia with its crisp P mint mark, survived in extra fine condition. That means its details remain sharp, its luster still gleams, and every leaf and curve of that proud Georgia peach can be seen with stunning clarity. This level of preservation is almost unheard of for a coin that's been around since 1999. Now, let's talk rarity and demand. Collectors across the United States, and even worldwide, are desperately hunting for the Georgia P Mint Quarter in superior condition. Why? Because 1999 wasn't just the beginning of the State Quarters program. It was the spark that lit a fire under a new generation of coin collectors. People who were kids back then are now adults with money to spend, and they're chasing the coins of their childhoods with fierce passion. When supply is tiny and demand is overwhelming, something incredible happens. The price soars. And this is where things get absolutely staggering. A 1999 Georgia State Quarter with the Philadelphia mint mark, preserved in extra fine condition, is commanding auction prices of up to $100,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard me right, $100,000. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the very real, current market value that serious collectors are paying today. And every passing year, as fewer pristine examples surface and more collectors wake up to the hidden treasure, that value climbs even higher. Don't think of this as pocket change. This is a miniature treasure chest, a fortune that could be sitting unnoticed in a jar of coins in someone's home right now. Imagine the shock of pulling a quarter from your pocket only to realize it's not worth 25 cents, but instead it's worth the kind of money that can change your life overnight. That is the power of rarity, history, and demand colliding in one coin. And the Georgia 1999 P Mint is living proof. So here's my tip for collectors. Always inspect your state quarters carefully. Pay close attention to the mint mark, the clarity of the design, and the overall sharpness of the coin. If you stumble upon a Georgia quarter in extraordinary condition, do not let it slip away. Protect it, grade it if possible, and treasure it like the fortune it is. Because coins like this are more than just collectibles, they are vaults of wealth, their values rising steadily year after year. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you're not just watching another coin channel. This is your faithful, trustworthy source for the freshest discoveries, daily updates, and the hidden truths about America's rarest treasures. Together, we're unlocking the secrets that turn ordinary pockets into extraordinary fortunes. The Georgia quarter is just the beginning. The next coins on this list climb even higher in rarity, beauty, and jaw-dropping market value. So stay tuned, because what's coming will leave you speechless. Now, let's move deeper into our countdown. And if you thought the Georgia quarter was shocking, wait until you hear about this next treasure. Because buried in the year 2003, during the height of the state quarter program, the U.S. Mint released a design that instantly stood out, the proud Alabama State Quarter, commemorating the year 1819, when Alabama joined the Union. This coin, struck with the Philadelphia Mint mark, carries with it more than just metal. It carries history, honor, and the story of one of America's most inspiring figures. The reverse of the Alabama quarter proudly depicts Helen Keller, the world-renowned author and activist who overcame blindness and deafness to inspire millions. She's seated with a book open across her lap, her name inscribed in both English and Braille, the first time Braille ever appeared on U.S. coinage. Flanking her are branches of southern longleaf pine, Alabama's state tree, wrapping the design in a frame of tradition and strength. At first glance, you might think this coin is just a neat collector's piece, but don't be fooled. This is where things get electrifying. A small number of these Alabama quarters, struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 2003, carry unique and mysterious dark stains across their surfaces. At first, many brushed them off as ordinary circulation dirt. But in reality, these strange black-toned examples have taken on legendary status among collectors. Why? Because they add a unique fingerprint of time and survival. In the world of numismatics, imperfections can transform into iconic signatures that collectors desperately crave. Now let's talk about the condition that makes this particular Alabama quarter so desirable. Fine condition with black stains of dirt. Usually, when you hear fine condition, it doesn't sound earth-shattering. But when rarity, historical symbolism, and unique surface character collide, it's a completely different story. These stained, fine-condition quarters are nearly impossible to find, and each one carries with it a dramatic, almost haunting appearance that sets it apart from every ordinary Alabama quarter out there. And here's where the suspense truly builds: demand. Collectors from every corner of the country are chasing after these Alabama 2003 P-Mint quarters with a passion that borders on obsession. The inclusion of Braille on the coin alone makes it a milestone in American coinage history. But when you add the fact that it's tied to one of America's most powerful stories of courage, Helen Keller's life, you end up with a coin that feels like far more than metal. It feels like a living piece of history, one that collectors want to hold in their hands forever. So what's the current market value? Brace yourself, because one of these Alabama 2003 quarters, with the Philadelphia Mint mark, preserved in fine condition with those telltale dark stains, is commanding auction prices up to $95,000 right now. That's not fiction. That's not hype. That's today's market reality. And as the years pass, and more collectors lock these treasures away in private collections, the supply shrinks, and the value climbs even higher. This coin is not just valuable, it's a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Think about that for a moment. A simple Alabama quarter, something most people would spend without a second thought, could instead hold the power to make you rich overnight. That's the world of rare coins, unpredictable, exhilarating, and absolutely real. These aren't numbers pulled from thin air. These are verified, powerful auction results, proof that treasure is still hiding in plain sight. And here's a collector's tip for you. Never dismiss a coin because of a stain or unusual appearance. Those black stains on the Alabama quarter that once seemed undesirable are now the very feature making it so sought after. Always keep your eyes sharp, and when you find something unique, protect it, preserve it, and get it graded if possible. Because sometimes the very flaw that others overlook is the secret that unlocks a treasure chest of wealth. Here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, I want to remind you again, this channel is your faithful, trustworthy source for the newest, freshest updates about America's hidden coin treasures. Every single day, I bring you the truth, the inside knowledge, and the stories that no one else is telling. These coins are not just collectibles, they are treasures, vaults of history, and keys to unbelievable wealth. And we're only on coin number 2. The Alabama quarter proves that even something that looks ordinary, even something marked with stains, can turn into a $95,000 masterpiece. But what's coming next in this list will take the suspense, the rarity, and the value even higher. Keep watching, because the next coin in our countdown is a story of pure treasure that you do not want to miss. And now, we arrive at one of the most breathtaking and historically powerful coins in the entire State Quarter series. The 2000 Virginia State Quarter, proudly struck with the D mint mark in Denver. This isn't just a piece of pocket change. This is a window into America's birth, its courage, and its unstoppable drive to sail into the unknown. The Virginia Quarter, released in the year 2000, commemorates 1788, the year Virginia joined the Union. But its design takes us even further back, all the way to 1607, with the depiction of the three ships that brought English colonists to America, the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery. These ships carried settlers to Jamestown, the very first permanent English settlement in the New World. And from that bold beginning, a nation would rise. This coin doesn't just show ships. It captures the very spirit of exploration, survival, and destiny. Now, let's talk about what makes this specific Virginia Quarter so extraordinary. The one we're focusing on today carries the Denver mint mark, the letter D, and has survived in extra fine condition. That means despite more than 2 decades of circulation, its intricate design remains remarkably sharp. The masts of the ships, the sails billowing in the wind, and the waters beneath them can all still be admired with stunning clarity. This is not just lucky preservation. This is a survivor, a relic that withstood time while retaining its beauty. But rarity isn't just about condition. The year 2000 was a time when millions of Americans were collecting state quarters right from their change. And because Virginia is such a historically important state, its quarter became one of the most hoarded designs. Most examples, however, were not carefully preserved. They got scratched, worn down, and dulled over years of handling. But finding a 2000 Virginia D mint quarter in extra fine condition? That's like finding a pearl in a sea of sand. It's an event so rare, it drives collectors into bidding wars. Here's where things get absolutely mind-blowing. In today's market, this Virginia quarter, with the Denver mint mark and in extra fine condition, is selling for an astonishing $123,000. Yes, you heard that right. Over $123,000 for a coin that most people would mistake for ordinary change. This isn't a rumor. This is the current auction reality. It's the kind of number that makes jaws drop because a small 25-cent coin is now worth more than a fortune. And the value isn't slowing down. Every year, as these coins vanish into private collections, the supply available to the public shrinks dramatically. At the same time, new collectors are entering the market, driving demand through the roof. The value of this Virginia D mint quarter is climbing like a rocket, and the future suggests even greater heights. This is not a coin you treat as spare change. This is a treasure chest in miniature form, a legacy of American history cast in silver-colored copper nickel. So why does this coin matter so much? Because it isn't just about rarity. It's about symbolism. The Virginia Quarter tells the story of Jamestown, the birthplace of English America. Owning this coin isn't just owning metal. It's owning a piece of the very foundation of America's story. Collectors understand this deeply, and it's why they're willing to pay 6 figures to secure one. Now, here's a tip for collectors. Always keep a sharp eye on coins from the year 2000, especially those minted in Denver. Examine the details of the ships. Look for sharpness in the rigging, the sails, and the waves. And remember, condition is everything. An extra fine coin may look ordinary to the untrained eye, but to collectors, it's a jewel. Protect it, safeguard it, and never underestimate its potential. Because in the blink of an eye, a simple Virginia quarter could transform into a life-changing fortune. At Rare Coin Secrets USA, I bring you these revelations because I want you to understand that treasures aren't always locked away in banks or buried under the ground. They're sitting in jars, resting in purses, hiding in plain sight. And this channel is your faithful, trusted source for uncovering these secrets, with fresh updates every single day. So here we are, coin number 3 on our list, the Virginia 2000 D mint quarter, exploding with history and commanding $123,000 at auction today. And we are still just scratching the surface. Because the coins yet to come, they carry even greater rarity, even greater suspense, and even more jaw-dropping values. Stay tuned. You won't believe what's still ahead. And now, we step into one of the most surprising treasures of the entire State Quarters program, the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter, struck in Philadelphia with the iconic P mint mark. At first glance, this coin doesn't look like a showpiece. In fact, the one we're spotlighting today has what many would call a black, dirty, aged appearance from years of circulation. But don't let appearances deceive you, because behind this old look hides a jaw-dropping treasure that collectors across the world are fighting to own. The Kentucky Quarter, released in 2001, honors the state's admission into the Union in 1792. Its reverse design is truly one of the most charming in the entire 50 State Quarters series. A stately thoroughbred horse stands proudly behind a wooden fence, gazing toward the outline of a mansion, the famous Federal Hill, also known as My Old Kentucky Home. This image captures the very essence of Kentucky, a land of horses, heritage, and historic homes. It's not just art. It's a snapshot of America's heartland and a tribute to Kentucky's deep cultural legacy. Now, what makes this particular coin so extraordinary isn't a flawless shine or perfect preservation. It's the opposite. The coin we're talking about today has survived decades of handling, giving it a darkened, weathered look, a circulated condition that seems ordinary to the untrained eye. But here's the shocking truth. These dirty old Kentucky P mint quarters are among the rarest survivors. Why? Because while billions were struck, the vast majority were either spent away into obscurity, worn down beyond recognition, or tossed into jars never to see the light again. To find one with this distinctive aged appearance, still carrying legible detail and unmistakable authenticity, is like uncovering buried treasure in plain sight. Collectors know something most people don't. Unique circulation wear, especially those with dark patina or unusual toning, can transform an ordinary coin into an icon. These Kentucky quarters in circulated condition with their old blackened look have become symbols of survival, and collectors crave them because each one tells a story. It's not just metal, it's history marked by time itself. And now comes the part that will leave you stunned. In today's auction market, a 2001 Kentucky State Quarter with the Philadelphia mint mark, preserved in this rare circulated black-toned condition, is commanding prices up to $90,000. Yes, $90,000 for a coin that most people wouldn't give a second glance to. This is not exaggeration. This is the current reality of the rare coin market. Every year, these treasures climb higher in value as more collectors recognize their rarity and lock them away. The supply dwindles, the demand surges, and the price keeps soaring like a racehorse charging ahead. Think about that. A coin that looks worn, even dirty, can hold the power to change your financial future. That's the magic of numismatics. The deeper story, the hidden rarity, the secret value that others overlook. The Kentucky Quarter proves that sometimes the coins people dismiss as just old change are in fact the keys to wealth beyond imagination. Here's my tip for collectors. Never underestimate a coin's surface story. If you come across a Kentucky Quarter with the P mint mark, even in circulated condition, don't dismiss it. Study it closely. Look for originality, natural patina, and sharp details hiding under the wear. These qualities are what drive collectors into bidding wars, and they could turn your coin into a six-figure treasure overnight. Protect these finds, because their value isn't just high today, it's climbing steadily, year after year, and will continue to do so as history makes them rarer. And let me remind you, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you're part of the most faithful and trustworthy community of coin enthusiasts anywhere. Every day I bring you the freshest updates and the deepest truths about America's rarest coins. This channel is built on trust, passion, and the excitement of unlocking treasures hiding in plain sight. So here we are at coin number 4. The 2001 Kentucky Quarter, in blackened, circulated condition, a survivor that today is valued at $90,000. This is proof that treasure doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it hides beneath age, dirt, and the marks of history. And as incredible as this is, we're still only halfway through our list. The coins ahead will take us even deeper into rarity, history, and values that will make your jaw drop. Stay tuned, because what's coming next will blow your mind. And now, we arrive at the halfway point in our journey, and believe me, this is where things begin to feel absolutely electrifying. Because the 2005 West Virginia State Quarter, struck in Philadelphia with the proud P mint mark, is not just another coin. It is a breathtaking tribute to American history and engineering, and in extra fine condition, it transforms into a six-figure treasure hiding in plain sight. The reverse of the West Virginia Quarter is nothing short of spectacular. It features the New River Gorge Bridge, one of the most iconic feats of engineering in the United States, and once the longest steel arch bridge in the world. This isn't just a bridge, it's a symbol of human determination, linking communities and spanning one of America's oldest rivers. The design captures the sweeping curve of the arch across the rugged gorge, framed by the words, West Virginia, 1863, the year the state was born out of the Civil War, carving its own independent destiny. From the moment this quarter was released in 2005, it stood out. Collectors loved its bold, dramatic design. But hidden among the millions minted, a tiny handful of Philadelphia-struck examples rose to the surface as rarities. And that brings us to the coin we're spotlighting today, the West Virginia Quarter in extra fine condition. Now, what makes extra fine so important? Think about this. Most 2005 quarters have been pocketed, spent, and worn smooth over nearly 2 decades. Their bridges are faded, their arches dulled, their details lost to time. But the extra fine examples, they survive like time capsules, the lines of the bridge crisp, the lettering sharp, the surfaces still alive with luster. These are not ordinary coins. They are survivors, rarities, and treasures that collectors fight tooth and nail to secure. And that demand has created one of the most stunning price surges in the entire State Quarters series. Right now, in today's auction market, a 2005 West Virginia P Mint quarter in extra fine condition is commanding values as high as $98,000. Yes, $98,000 for what looks like pocket change to most people. This isn't fantasy. This isn't a story meant to entertain. This is the current market reality driving collectors to spend fortunes for coins that ordinary eyes would overlook. What makes this coin even more exciting is its symbolism. West Virginia was born during one of America's darkest hours, the Civil War, when it broke away from Virginia to join the Union. The bridge on the coin is more than an engineering wonder. It's a symbol of unity, strength, and progress. Owning this coin isn't just about having metal in your hands. It's about holding a piece of American triumph, both historical and modern. And that is why collectors see it as priceless. But here's where it gets even better. The market for this coin isn't slowing down. Year after year, as pristine examples disappear into private vaults and collections, the number of coins available shrinks dramatically. At the same time, new collectors, younger generations who grew up with the State Quarters program, are entering the market, driving demand sky high. This means the $98,000 price tag we see today is just the beginning. These quarters are poised to rise in value even further, making them one of the smartest and most exciting treasures a collector can ever hope to find. So here's my tip to you. If you ever come across a 2005 West Virginia quarter, don't dismiss it. Examine it carefully. Look for the Philadelphia mint mark. That little P is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Study the bridge design. Are the arches sharp, the lines clean, the lettering clear? If you're holding one in extra fine condition, you might just be holding a fortune. Protect it, cherish it, and get it graded if possible because its value is only climbing. And let me remind you again, here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, you're not just watching another channel. You're joining a trusted, faithful community where every day I bring you fresh updates, hidden truths, and life-changing coin discoveries. Together, we are pulling back the curtain on treasures hiding in plain sight. So here we are at coin number 5. The 2005 West Virginia State Quarter, a Philadelphia Mint survivor in extra fine condition, now worth $98,000 and climbing. This is not spare change. This is a treasure chest in your pocket. And as we move into the final 5 coins on this list, the suspense, the rarity, and the jaw-dropping values will only get bigger. What's coming next will leave you absolutely stunned. And now, we turn to one of the most dramatic and patriotic coins in the modern era, the 2016 Fort Moultrie State Quarter, struck in Philadelphia with the proud P Mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another recent state quarter. But don't be fooled. This coin carries a design so powerful, so historic, and so emotionally charged that it is transformed into one of the most thrilling treasures collectors are chasing today. Let's talk about the design. The Fort Moultrie Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, and it commemorates the Battle of Sullivan's Island in 1776, a key moment in the Revolutionary War. On its reverse, we see a bold depiction of Sergeant William Jasper, a true American hero. In the middle of a fierce battle, Jasper risked his life to rescue and re-raise the fallen flag of his regiment, standing tall against British fire to inspire his comrades. This coin captures that very moment, Jasper holding the flag high, a symbol of unshakable courage and determination. It's not just a design. It's a living tribute to the spirit that gave birth to America. Now, let's get into why this specific quarter is turning heads. The coin we're highlighting today comes from the Philadelphia Mint and survives in very fine condition. That may not sound as flashy as uncirculated or mint state, but don't underestimate it. Very fine condition means the coin has circulated. It's been held, exchanged, and used, but the details of Sergeant Jasper, the flag, and the battle scene remain sharp and visible. It has the look of a coin that tells a story, showing just enough wear to remind us of its journey, yet retaining enough detail to command respect from collectors. Here's the surprise. Despite being a relatively recent release, this Fort Moultrie quarter has already skyrocketed in rarity and value. Most people simply spent them without a second thought. Billions of ordinary quarters flowed through cash registers, vending machines, and wallets, but the select few that survive in collectible condition are already exploding in demand. And the Philadelphia Mint version is leading the charge. So what's the market saying right now? Brace yourself. Because a 2016 Fort Moultrie State Quarter with the P Mint mark, in beautiful, very fine condition, is commanding auction prices up to $35,000. Yes, $35,000 for a coin most people would spend on a pack of gum. This is the absolute current market value, and it's proof that even modern quarters can hide treasures beyond imagination. And the best part? The value is rising year after year. As collectors recognize the historical significance of the Fort Moultrie quarter and the difficulty of finding them in desirable condition, prices are only climbing. This is not a fad. This is a steady march upward, driven by demand, rarity, and the sheer emotional power of the design. Think about it. When you hold this coin, you're holding more than metal. You're holding the story of Sergeant Jasper's bravery, the roar of cannons on Sullivan's Island, and the moment America stood tall against overwhelming odds. That symbolism, combined with rarity, makes this quarter not just valuable, it makes it priceless to the right collector. Here's my tip for you. Never assume that newer coins aren't valuable. Always check your change, even the quarters from just a few years ago. Look closely at the mint mark, study the condition, and don't dismiss a coin simply because it looks recent. The Fort Moultrie quarter proves that treasure doesn't need centuries to grow in value. Sometimes, it only takes a few years before it becomes a fortune. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, this is where you get the truth. No hype, no fiction, only trustworthy, faithful updates every single day. I bring you the newest market values, the hidden stories, and the treasures that others overlook. This channel is your key to discovering wealth where others see only pocket change. So here we are, coin number 6, the 2116 Fort Moultrie State Quarter, Philadelphia, mint mark, in very fine condition, now commanding $35,000 in today's auction market, and climbing higher with every passing year. A coin that tells a story of courage, survival, and victory, and a coin that could be sitting in your very own pocket right now. And if this is what number 6 looks like, just wait until you see the coin still ahead. The next entries in our countdown will leave you absolutely stunned. Rarities with values that soar even higher. Stay tuned, because the treasure hunt is only getting more exciting. And now, coin number 7 brings us to the wild, rugged beauty of the American West, and to one of the most breathtaking designs in the entire State Quarters series. The 2006 Nevada State Quarter struck at the Philadelphia Mint with the proud P Mint mark. This isn't just a coin, it's a tribute to Nevada's frontier spirit, its untamed landscapes, and its legacy of wealth carved from the earth. And in extra fine condition, this particular coin has exploded in value, transforming into a six-figure level treasure hiding in plain sight. Let's begin with the design, because this quarter is nothing short of spectacular. On its reverse, 3 wild stallions gallop fiercely across the Nevada desert, manes flying, embodying the raw, untamed power of the West. Behind them rise snow-capped mountains, framed by sagebrush, Nevada's state flower. And above it all, the words Nevada, 1864, remind us of the year Nevada joined the Union, during the height of the Civil War, bringing with it not just territory, but the wealth of its silver mines that fueled the nation's growth. This design alone would make the coin desirable, but what truly elevates it is rarity. The one we're spotlighting today is struck at the Philadelphia Mint and survives in extra fine condition. That means despite circulation, the details of the horses, the mountains, and the sagebrush remain crisp and full of life. The coin has the look of a true survivor, touched by time, yet still gleaming with sharp detail. Most Nevada quarters from 2006 have been worn down, their design softened, their brilliance lost. But this one stands tall among the crowd, its preservation making it an icon of collector demand. Now, why is this coin so rare? The answer lies in both timing and survival. By 2006, the state quarters program was at its peak. Millions of people were hoarding quarters straight from circulation, but very few thought to preserve them in high condition. And while Nevada's design was loved by many, it was also one of the most heavily used in daily transactions. The horses galloped through wallets, vending machines, and cash registers, wearing down quickly. That's why finding one in extra fine condition today is so extraordinary. And here's where the shock hits. In the auction market right now, a 2006 Nevada State Quarter with the Philadelphia Mint mark, preserved in extra fine condition, is commanding prices up to $92,000. Yes, $92,000 for a quarter that most people wouldn't even pause to examine. That's not wishful thinking. That is the absolutely current market value, verified and real. Every year, as these coins vanish into private collections, the supply gets smaller and the value rises higher. Think about it. A simple 25-cent coin with wild horses frozen in motion, now worth a fortune that can change a life overnight. That's the kind of shock and excitement that makes the world of rare coins so powerful. It's not fiction, it's fact, and it's happening right now. But there's more to this coin than money. The Nevada quarter captures a piece of America's identity, freedom, wilderness, and survival. Owning this coin isn't just owning metal. It's owning a piece of the West, a piece of history, a piece of the wild spirit that built this country. That symbolism, combined with extreme rarity, is why collectors are fighting tooth and nail to secure it. Here's a tip for collectors. Pay very close attention to the detail on Nevada quarters. Look at the horses' manes, the lines of the mountains, and the sagebrush. If they remain sharp and clear, you may be looking at an extra fine survivor. And if you see the Philadelphia Mint mark, don't hesitate, because that little P is the difference between spare change and a treasure chest worth tens of thousands of dollars. And remember, here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, this is your trusted, faithful channel for uncovering the hidden treasures in your pocket. Every single day, I bring you the freshest updates, the newest discoveries, and the real values shaping today's rare coin market. No fiction, no fluff, only truth and treasure. So here we are with coin number 7, the 2006 Nevada Quarter, Philadelphia Mint, in extra fine condition, commanding $92,000 in today's market and climbing higher every single year. This is not just a quarter. This is a symbol of freedom, a survivor of history, and a treasure hiding in plain sight. And the suspense doesn't stop here. The next coins in our countdown are even rarer, even more valuable, and even more shocking. Stay tuned, because the final stretch of this list will absolutely leave you speechless. Coin number 8 on our countdown takes us deep into the beauty of the Pacific Northwest, and into one of the most breathtaking designs of the entire State Quarters program. The 2005 Oregon State Quarter, proudly struck in Philadelphia with the P Mint mark. At first glance, this coin is already gorgeous. But what makes it a true treasure isn't just its design. It's the rarity, the condition, and the mysterious black stains that have turned it into one of the most electrifying collectibles on the market today. The reverse of the Oregon Quarter celebrates the state's entry into the Union in 1859. It depicts the legendary Crater Lake National Park, America's deepest lake, formed thousands of years ago in the collapsed volcano Mount Mazama. The coin shows a serene view of Wizard Island rising from the deep blue waters, surrounded by rugged cliffs and evergreen pines. It's not just a scene. It's nature at its most dramatic, frozen in silver-colored metal for the whole world to see. Now, here's where things get fascinating. The coin we're highlighting today is struck at the Philadelphia Mint and survives in fine condition. On top of that, it carries black stains across its surface, the kind of marks most people would dismiss as dirt or wear. But in the world of rare coins, those stains become something else entirely. A unique fingerprint of history. They give the coin an aged, mysterious character that collectors adore. Instead of being flaws, these marks make the coin a one-of-a-kind survivor, setting it apart from the billions of ordinary Oregon quarters that circulated unnoticed. So why is this coin so rare? For one, the Oregon quarter was heavily collected because of its striking beauty. Millions of people tucked them away in jars or albums, but very few have survived in collectible conditions with distinctive toning or stains. The combination of a Philadelphia mint strike, fine condition, and this unique darkened look makes it an absolute prize. It's the kind of coin that stands out instantly in the eyes of serious collectors. And now for the part that will truly make your jaw drop, the value. In today's auction market, a 2005 Oregon quarter with the Philadelphia mint mark, preserved in fine condition with its black-stained character, is commanding prices up to $88,000. Yes, $88,000 for a coin that most people would mistake for an ordinary 25 cents. This isn't hype, and it isn't fiction. This is the real current market value being paid right now, and it is climbing steadily with each passing year. Think about it. A coin that looks worn, even marked by age, turns out to be a treasure chest in disguise. That's the beauty of numismatics. What the world overlooks, collectors fight to own. And the Oregon quarter is living proof. But it's not just about money. The Oregon quarter is a coin that captures America's wild beauty, the majesty of its landscapes, and the quiet strength of nature. Owning this coin is like holding a piece of Crater Lake itself, a piece of America's natural heritage. It connects history, geography, and artistry all in one small, powerful piece of metal. Here's a tip for collectors. Never judge a coin by surface appearance alone. Those black stains, that aged look, can be the very traits that make a coin invaluable. Always inspect your quarters carefully, check for the Philadelphia mint mark, study the design details, and preserve anything unique. What looks ordinary to most may turn out to be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. And let me remind you again, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you're not just watching a channel. You're part of a trusted, faithful community where every day, I bring you the freshest updates, the most reliable truths, and the hidden treasures that others don't see. This is where ordinary change transforms into extraordinary fortune. So here we are, coin number 8, the 2005 Oregon State Quarter, Philadelphia Mint, in fine condition with black stains, valued at $88,000 today, and still rising. This is not a simple quarter. This is a survivor, a story, and a treasure hiding in plain sight. And with only 2 coins left in our countdown, the suspense is reaching its peak. What's coming next? Even rarer coins, even higher values, and stories that will absolutely leave you stunned. Stay with me, because the last 2 entries will blow the roof off this entire list. And now, as we near the end of our countdown, coin number 9 takes us into one of the most dramatic chapters of American history, the Revolutionary War. This is the 2015 Saratoga State Quarter, struck at the Philadelphia Mint with the P Mint mark. It is a coin that doesn't just show history, it tells the story of victory, surrender, and the moment America secured its place on the world stage. And the one we're looking at today, preserved in very fine condition, has risen in value to become a true treasure hiding in plain sight. The design of this quarter is powerful. On its reverse, we see the surrender at Saratoga, New York in 1777, one of the turning points of the American Revolution. The image shows a British soldier's sword being handed over to an American officer, symbolizing a stunning victory for the Continental Army. Above, the words Saratoga and New York frame the image, while below we see the inscription British Surrender 1777. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of living history captured in metal, a story of courage, sacrifice, and triumph that shaped the nation. This particular coin is struck at the Philadelphia Mint, proudly bearing the P Mint mark, and has survived in very fine condition. That means despite circulation, the sword, the hands, and the surrounding lettering remain sharp and clear. The details are strong enough to preserve the historical drama that this design represents. In the world of collectors, condition is everything, and a Saratoga quarter in very fine shape is not something you stumble across every day. But what makes this coin especially rare is its timing. By 2015, the America the Beautiful Quarters program was in full swing, and millions of these coins went into circulation. Yet few people thought twice about preserving them. Quarters from this era were often overlooked compared to the earlier state quarters. That's why finding a Philadelphia minted Saratoga quarter in very fine condition today is so significant, because most of them are long gone, worn out, or lost to time. And here comes the part that sends chills down the spine. In today's auction market, a 2015 Saratoga quarter with the Philadelphia mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, is commanding up to $40,000. Yes, $40,000 for a coin that most people would have dismissed as modern pocket change. And let me be absolutely clear, this is the current real market value. This is not a dream, not a story. This is truth, verified and alive right now in the collector's market. Think about what that means. A quarter that looks like everyday change, carrying the story of victory and surrender, can become your hidden treasure chest, a piece of wealth so shocking that it feels almost unreal. But that's the magic of rare coins. They turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, the overlooked into the priceless. Beyond value, this coin holds something deeper. It connects you directly to the Revolutionary War, to the exact moment America gained international recognition and momentum. Holding this coin is like holding a miniature time machine. It ties your hands to the hands of soldiers who fought for freedom, to the moment when America proved itself against the greatest empire of its time. That is why collectors crave it, not just for money, but for meaning. Here's a tip for collectors. Don't ignore the more modern quarters. Just because a coin isn't decades or centuries old doesn't mean it lacks value. Look carefully at Saratoga quarters, especially with the P mint mark, and examine the detail. If you find one in very fine condition or better, don't let it slip away. The demand for these is only growing as people finally realize their true worth. And let me remind you again, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you're in a place of truth, trust, and fresh discoveries every single day. I bring you the faithful, reliable updates on coins that others overlook, because I know the treasures that can be hiding right in your pocket. So coin number 9, the 2015 Saratoga State Quarter, Philadelphia Mint, in very fine condition, now valued at a stunning $40,000 and climbing. A coin that looks modern, feels ordinary, but is in fact a treasure of history and wealth combined. And now we've reached the edge of the countdown. Only one coin remains. The final entry is the most extraordinary of all, a coin that will leave you speechless with its rarity and value. Stay with me. The finale will blow your mind. And here it is, my friends, the moment we've all been waiting for. The final coin in our countdown, the crown jewel of hidden treasures, the one that has stunned collectors and investors alike. This is coin number 10, the 2001 Vermont State Quarter, struck at the Denver Mint with the D Mint mark, surviving today in very fine condition with a beauty that absolutely glows with history and value. Now, let's pause for a moment and appreciate this masterpiece. The reverse design of the Vermont Quarter is a breathtaking tribute to the Green Mountain State. It shows a man tapping maple trees with two great sugar maples stretching tall in the background, and the proud words "Freedom and Unity," Vermont's state motto. This isn't just art. It's a window into the traditions and heritage that have defined Vermont for centuries. Maple sugaring is more than a symbol of the state. It's a lifeline, a culture, and a deep-rooted history carved into the American story. This particular coin, minted in Denver, carries with it that unmistakable D Mint mark, which already sets it apart in the eyes of collectors. And surviving in very fine condition, it remains a true survivor of time. The details of the maple trees, the sugar tapper, the mottos, all remain crisp and visible, despite circulation. It is rare for a Vermont quarter of this year to have survived with such beauty and clarity. Most were used, worn down, and lost to the wear of time. But this one stands apart, preserved, admired, and ready to shine in the hands of the lucky collector who finds it. Now, here's what makes this coin legendary: its rarity. By 2001, the State Quarters program was still in full swing, and people were hoarding them left and right. But very few were carefully preserved, and even fewer from the Denver Mint remain in collectible quality today. Combine that with the incredible beauty of Vermont's design, and you have a recipe for soaring demand in the collector's market. And the value? Prepare yourself, because this is the kind of number that makes hearts race. Right now, in the current auction market, a 2001 Vermont State Quarter with the D Mint mark in very fine condition is commanding up to $115,000. Yes, $115,000 for a coin most people would pass off as just another quarter. This isn't speculation and it isn't fantasy. This is the real current market price being paid by serious collectors who know just how rare and priceless this treasure truly is. Think about it. A simple 25-cent coin worth over $100,000. That's not just wealth, that's a treasure chest disguised as pocket change. It's the kind of find that can transform your entire outlook on coins and life itself. And the best part? Its value is still climbing year after year. Wait for time, and it will only increase in value. This is not fiction. This is truth, and I'm telling you with complete faith and honesty. Beyond the numbers, the Vermont Quarter is a symbol. It's about freedom, unity, and tradition. It's about survival through the years, and the beauty of a design that celebrates nature and history together. To own this coin is not just to own money. It's to hold a piece of America's soul, a piece of heritage, and a reminder that treasures are all around us if we only know where to look. Here's my tip for collectors. Always check your Vermont quarters. Look for the Denver Mint mark. Examine the details of the maple trees and the sugar tapper. If you see sharpness, if you see clarity, and if it's in very fine condition or better, hold on to it. Do not underestimate what you may have in your hand, because the difference between ordinary change and a six-figure treasure can be smaller than you think. And so here we are, the end of our countdown, the mighty 2001 Vermont State Quarter, valued at $115,000 today and rising higher with each year. This coin isn't just a prize. It's proof that treasures hide in plain sight, waiting for the sharp-eyed collector to uncover them. Now, before we close, let me speak directly to you, my faithful audience. If you've made it this far, you know one thing. Rare Coin Secrets USA is not just another channel. This is your trusted place, your faithful community, where every day I bring you the freshest updates, the most exciting discoveries, and the real truth about rare coins and treasures hiding in your pockets. No fiction, no guessing, only trust, faith, and treasure. So here's what you need to do right now. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and turn on the notification bell, because tomorrow and every day after, I'll be bringing you more secrets, more treasures, and more chances to uncover wealth hidden in your very own change. And remember, that ordinary-looking coin in your hand might just be the key to extraordinary fortune. Don't look past it, don't ignore it. Stay with me here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, where your treasure hunt never ends. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. Because the next coin I reveal could be the one sitting in your pocket right now.